Welcome to What's Trending. I'm Shira Lazar, and today we'll attack this show with host Kevin Pereira and actor Greg Grunberg. Woo! We'll talk to Rick Fox about his foray into the web series world and enjoy a live in-studio performance from Clara C. To interact with other folks watching the show, head over to our room on chill.com. It's awesome. And don't forget to go to getglue.com and check in to earn exclusive fancy stickers. It's October 11th. Here's what's trending now. The internet is still mourning this week over the loss of Apple visionary Steve Jobs. His passing Wednesday spawned countless trending topics, including R.I.P. Steve, I sad, and Thank You, Steve, equaling upwards of 2 million mentions from a devastated online community. We sat down with a number of influencers this past Thursday to hear their thoughts on what Steve meant to them. You can see that special show on our website, whatstrending.com. In other Apple news, a worldwide groan was heard last week when Tim Cook announced the iPhone 4S instead of the highly anticipated iPhone 5. But that didn't stop the device from becoming Apple's fastest selling product ever, beating the previous record by over 400,000 units. Later in the show, we'll talk all things Apple, including the new release and the future of the company after Steve Jobs. Is your personal information private? Well, it might not be as private as you think. According to the Electronic Communication Privacy Act, a law from the mid-'80s, government agencies have the right to seize your emails, texts, and even tweets. The issue has blown up online with over 20,000 tweets in the last 2 days, and we'll take an in-depth look into the origin of this trend in just a bit. Tonight on WashingtonPostLive.com, Dartmouth College plays host to the third GOP debate this season. Less than 100 days away from the first primary election, Rick Perry hopes to regain some of the momentum he lost during the first two debates. At one point, a decided frontrunner, attacks on Perry's religion and his religious views have allowed Mitt Romney to gain traction. You can watch the debate live at 8 o'clock and follow the conversation using hashtag #EconDebate, as the current economic climate will be the topic of tonight's discussion. Speaking of the economic climate, Occupy Wall Street continues trending this week as the number of occupiers nationwide continues to rise. This morning, more than 50 protesters from the Occupy Boston movement were arrested, most for trespassing. More unions have jumped on board, and celebs, including Mr. Kanye West, who rocked some bling while supporting protesters with Russell Simmons. A newspaper has also launched with $75,000 raised on Kickstarter, the Occupy Wall Street Journal. And I should point out, we're talking about a physical newspaper here. Who said print is dead? To continue following the movement, head over to occupywallstreet.org. Batman, Superman, and the Green Lantern have all trended over the past few weeks, not because of a movie release, but because of their comic books. Imagine that. DC Comics' The New 52 is meant to modernize the storylines of their iconic superheroes and villains. Fans have been able to weigh in on the changes through DC forums. And while there may be mixed reviews, the Justice League alone has sold over 200,000 copies. And the Wall Street Journal is reporting that every copy of The New 52 have already sold out. Pretty good stuff. And it would be a super choice for all of you just to go head over to our Facebook, Twitter, and blog at whatstrending.com to join the discussion. And right now, let's move on to our real-time conversation. We're happy to have you joining us online today. We also have our attractive in-studio audience.
Oh, very sexy.
Oh yeah, they're sexy.
Oh, right out of Central Casting. I had no idea who those people were. I'm so excited.
It's called tweet casting and Facebook casting.
Tweet casting. Now, are these the people that actually responded to the tweets?
Yes, they're friends, family, and tweet followers, Twitter followers.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. And of course, we have our awesome panel who've already started.
Hey there. I'm only to the GOP story. It's buffering. So if you can wait, I'm only going to speak to you through the stream, Shira.
He's an actor, inventor, and activist. It's Greg Grunberg.
Yes. Hey. Welcome, Greg Grunberg. You're a triple threat. I am a triple threat. I can also go to my left.
Oh, well, speaking of a triple threat, he's the creator, producer, and host of G4's Attack of the Show. It's Kevin Pereira.
That's a single credit stretched out to 3, but I will take it.
I took a deep breath for that one. I was like, and letting us know what all of you are thinking throughout the show. It's our very own Melissa June Rowley.
Yes, thank you. I'm on Twitter as we speak. To join the discussion, please use the hashtag WTLive or just tweet us at What's Trending.
Yes, go do it now. Greg, you're walking to support epilepsy this Sunday. Tell people about that, how they can support.
Well, epilepsy is my big thing.
Yeah.
Our oldest son has epilepsy. It's very misunderstood. Seizures are scary, yet you can live with epilepsy and live a perfectly normal life. So I've got talkaboutit.org. Go to talkaboutit.org. It's a place to get the conversation going. And this Sunday, like you said, the LA chapter of the Epilepsy Foundation has their annual walk, and it's at the Rose Bowl. Come out, see me. Support my team. Team Talk About It. So on talkaboutit.org, you can link to, or click over to our page.
Go to his Twitter too.
Yeah.
It's at talkaboutit.org. I'm tweeting it out to everybody right now.
Awesome. Or at Greg Grunberg, either way. But yeah, we're in competition with another team. We want to raise as much money as possible. There's no donation is too small, and it really helps.
What a great cause.
Yeah, it's just,
I'm
it's
going
very
to say there's a donation that's too small. If you're only giving $5, go screw yourself.
No, anything else.
I mean,
okay, you know what? You're
about
right.
$10. I'll say it for you, Greg.
Yeah.
Stop being cheap. Help this man.
Let's also talk about Yowza, your app.
Yes.
Does it help that the economic, climate is kind of not good right now?
Yeah,
You provide sales and coupons for people.
Yeah, it's a mobile couponing app. It's free. You can go to getyowza.com and download it. And it's when you hit Yowza, it brings up all the stores' coupons, all the restaurants' coupons in your area. So yes, if I would have launched this 20 years ago when everyone was like, hey, who cares about money? It would have been a little more difficult. Now it's great. It's
Or prime rib and champagne. I care not for your dollar bills.
Exactly. We've got prostitute coupons on there now.
Oh,
so
wow.
Everybody
That's
can save
innovative.
money.
Oh, fantastic.
Kevin, you've been supporting Occupy Wall Street a lot. Which I've been following your stream. We're friends, and I know that you went to the LA protests.
I did, yeah.
And so what do you think about it all? What's your sense in terms of how it's developing right now?
You know, I was quick to support it because I understood what the fundamental message was, which I think is that corporations have far too much influence over politics. No matter how you slice it, Republican, Democrat, Independent, it doesn't matter. I think we can all agree that corporations have far too much influence, and that was the core message. And it was really interesting to throw weight behind something like that and try to honestly cover a story like that, knowing full well that, okay, well, the media is going to get involved at some point. Larger interest groups are going to get involved at some point. There's going to be spin put on this.
Yeah.
People will try to smear the movement. So it's been interesting, to say the least, to watch it evolve over the last few weeks. But
how do you think social media has influenced it?
well, social media has allowed for it.
Yeah.
I mean, without social media, this movement wouldn't exist.
I say amplify. It amplified it, definitely. Obviously, the emotions were already there.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you talk about the ability for people to organize and communicate effectively, without social media, that wouldn't be happening with this movement. And even something like the Tea Party, it's funny to point and go, oh, look at those folks in their silly hats with their racism. That's not how the movement got started. It was actually people that wanted to stop the Fed. The problem with that group was that they didn't have the communication. They did not use social networking and social media to communicate effectively, and so their message was co-opted and unfortunately marginalized for some. I don't have an opinion either way about it. I just know what my core beliefs are, and I think corporations need to get out of politics. That is a core belief of this movement.
It'll be
so
interesting to see how it moves forward. I know they're thinking about continuing through the winter in New York City and in all these cities where it obviously gets cold, and it'll be interesting to see how the government reacts and if anything actually takes place out of this. Well, let's get right into our stories of the day, shall we? Shall we, folks?
Let us.
All right, let's go do it. Well, Tim Cook took the stage last week for his first time as Apple's CEO and announced the newest incarnation of the company's massively successful iPhone, the 4S. And although many of the core of Apple's fan base responded negatively to the lack of larger news like an iPhone 5 release, that hasn't stopped them from buying the 4S. Reports are showing over 1 million phones sold in a single day. Now, Kevin, what is it about Apple? Would people bought just anything that they announced? Or was this actually a good product?
Yeah, I'd line up and pre-order it. You throw an Apple logo on a toaster and I'm there.
Absolutely.
I would buy an Apple
tell
toaster.
Me that it has apps,
Yeah.
No, it's so funny to watch how people were so upset that there's not a 5 next to this phone name. What, they just slapped an S on it? And then their gripes quickly shifted to, I can't pre-order, the site's down. Like, it's an exciting phone. It's a phone that many, many people have. It fundamentally changed the smartphone game. So an upgrade's fine.
That's not a 5? That's an S?
That is the,
All right, I thought it was an iPhone 45. I was very excited.
Is it the fact that this was maybe Steve Jobs' last, product that was released before his
Well, I've
death?
heard rumor that, it's iPhone for Steve when you look at that S.
A little subliminal messaging there.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is also a way to get the Sprint, the other people that are not converts yet into the Apple Fold and to have phones, you know, to get them to use the iPhone 4. I just think, you know, you can't go wrong. So this is why so many people have jumped on this. There were so many Apple people that already have the iPhone that were waiting to convert to the iPhone 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 60%. I think those people are holding back, but the million that they sold in that one day are all new people that are jumping on the
Apple sold 1 million phones in 2007 when it first came out with the iPhone, but it took 74 days. So that just goes.
That's like ancient.
But
I can't even imagine
now
that right now.
you can use Yowza with your phone. So there's a big difference.
There's a lot
Shameless
to add.
plug.
Well, do you feel like these releases are like movie releases? They're that big. They've made tech into something a bit more glamorous and mainstream and something people want to be part of.
Yeah, I mean, not with every company. Apple is really a unique beast. I mean, when they make an announcement, you know it's going to be something special. And iOS 5 is crazy cool. I mean, the things that it's going to be able to do, even with the existing iPhone 4, it's pretty impressive. So it just keeps making our lives easier and easier. And what Steve Jobs did more than anything else, in my opinion, is allowed us the creative tools to do what we want to do. How many people are making a living
empowering other people to be creative?
Absolutely. In a simple way.
Yeah.
He does all of the backroom stuff. That's what Apple products do. They do all the work for you. You can just be creative.
Now, you actually were in the middle of a show when this all happened.
Yeah,
right?
we were live. We had about 5 minutes left in the program,
Really?
and it hit Twitter, and we decided to extend our hour-long show to an hour and a half, and brought in some folks and read real-time reactions on Twitter and brought in people to chat about it. It was really, you know, it's not that anybody wasn't expecting this. There were health concerns for a long while, but man, when it hit, the air was sucked out of our little studio, and we are so far removed from Apple headquarters. I couldn't imagine what the vibe was there.
Well, what is it about Apple that creates that fanboy, fangirl culture? Was it Apple or was it the leadership of Steve Jobs?
It's all, you can't separate Steve Jobs from Apple. You know, you can't talk about Apple as a company without mentioning, in my opinion, Steve Jobs
I agree.
as a leader. And let's not forget, at one point, Apple was the underdog of underdogs.
Yeah,
they were done. They were
that.
Ask Jeeves written off. Like, they were not going anywhere. And yet he comes back and explodes this company by making amazing products that people can relate to.
So where is Apple headed then, Greg, now that Steve isn't around? Do
Well,
they have that same bright future without his leadership?
Steve Jobs' stamp has been put on everything and will continue to be put. And these people, they all work together. Yes, it's the brainchild, and he is, he's just an incredible person who has set even the out-of-box experience. I mean, they talk about just the design of everything. Is to make it just an enjoyable, unbelievable experience to get an Apple product. I don't think that's going to go away. I don't think any of it is going to go away. You know, Tim Cook, they're all brilliant guys. I'm going up there tomorrow.
You are?
Yeah, so I'll find out, you know, as
For
much
what?
as I can.
Oh, to talk about apps and everything?
Yeah, a couple more apps.
Is Yowza going to be bundled with iOS 5?
That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
I want to tell Siri to find me a deal, and I want it to use Yowza to do it.
Perfect.
So if you need me in a suit and tie, I will PowerPoint the hell out
Oh,
of it.
Siri used to be its own app.
Right.
And then it,
And now they're actually making it, well, actually he had a plan though. This isn't the end of
He had a
what we
plan
will
in place.
see.
It's too bad that you won't be there for when he has this futuristic new spaceship-esque Apple headquarters. Sources close to Apple have been blogging and saying that Steve left behind a 4-year plan for blueprints for iPads, iPods, MacBooks, and as well as the new headquarters. So he was such a forward-thinking visionary, and that's going to stand the test of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and these are rumors, obviously, but it makes sense. You have a huge company like Apple to have at least a 4-year plan.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Tupac still has albums coming out.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he's on an island with Biggie, by the way. He is not, Tupac is not going.
and Steve Jobs is at the Genius Bar in the sky.
Exactly.
I mean,
Well,
you know.
Well, the Apple stock actually has gone up since, and you can now get the iPhone 4S. You can pre-order it right now, so definitely check it out. It goes out October 14th. And pick your carrier. Obviously mentioned Sprint, AT&T, Verizon too. I'm also interested to see how this whole voice-activated assistant Siri works out in the real world. So will you be picking one up? Let us know in the chat room right now. And remember, you can tweet us your thoughts and questions throughout the show at What's Trending using hashtag WTLive. Now, this week, Google was given a secret court order by the US government to turn over information from the email accounts of Jacob Appelbaum, a WikiLeaks contributor for an ongoing investigation with the Department of Justice. Giving up your private emails to the government sounds questionable. Well, the government is actually allowed this access according to the Electronic Communications Privacy Act passed in 1986, before email even existed. Appelbaum has been one of the many targets in the continued search to uncover all parties involved with WikiLeaks. But the question remains, should it be legal for the government to have access to your private information? And if so, to what end? Greg, how do you feel about all of this?
I just, are you sure it was not 1886? I mean, they went back as far back as they could and said, how can we make this legal? It's really tricky. I mean, to be able to go in and look at your text and look at something that could be considered, put out into the public space, that's one thing. But to go into your email files, to go into your address book and look at your contacts, I mean, that's...
Do they have a right to do, I mean, they obviously, legally, they're finding the ways to do it, but
sure.
Should they have a right to do this, Kevin?
I mean, look, at some point in 1986, someone thought, no, the government shouldn't have a right to listen to your cell phone calls or intercept a facsimile. Back then they thought, no, the government shouldn't have a right to do that. So why should they have a right to do that today? Just because the medium has changed? Just because now it's tweets and emails versus phone calls and faxes? Absolutely not. I think we should have a reasonable right to privacy. And no notification is given whatsoever when the government hops into your email. These things happen in secret. They happen without a warrant. They happen on suspicion of probable cause. Not even probable cause anymore.
Right.
And I'm afraid to sex my penis now. I really am.
Really?
You never know.
Don't be afraid.
You keep saying that. I have no idea what
That's not what I heard about last night. No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
exactly.
All right. But is this, would you do this for national security?
Well, here's the thing.
That's the thing.
I think they're doing it anyway, and the fact that it's now in the public, this is, we were talking about how this got blown up because of the Wall Street Journal? Who?
Well, WikiLeaks. It was with
No, in WikiLeaks,
yeah.
but
documents were found that there was a secret court order
Right.
that the government forced onto Google.
So what I'm saying is they're doing it
Yeah.
anyway, and now they got busted. Now they're sending a message to other people. I think that's what they're doing.
Well,
with
Google actually revealed was it 2009?
Google revealed in 2009 that the government started sending them requests for data as far back a couple years ago, and Google said it received over 4,600 requests, and it complied to about 94% of them.
Can you believe that?
And those thousands of requests were actually only in a 6-month window, so we have no idea, and that's just Google. So we have no idea, and everybody knows everybody's on Hotmail. So we have no idea
It's absolutely
how
true.
many requests are actually going out there for what kind of services.
Now you look at something as innocent as iCloud, and where they're going to store all of your information, back up all of your information. Do you want a company like Apple having access to everything? I know, believe me, I love Apple. There's no better company.
He knows
It's
not what
okay.
he speaks.
Virgin ears, virgin ears.
You know what I'm saying?
It's warm in the studio.
But I had this discussion with my son. I have 3 boys, and they were like so excited about iCloud. So am I.
Yeah.
But I thought, anything you do lives forever online and potentially in the cloud. So you have to be careful who has access to that. And the government, Apple, Google, Facebook.
You kind of need to accept that what you put out there can be accessed no matter what.
You can, but
anytime.
our online community from your Google Plus. That
check
I
out my Google
hijacked.
Plus.
They've had some very strong opinions about it, as the two of you do. Tommy McGrath said that's just wrong. It's an invasion of human rights. And Jason Michael Cannon said, I guess that somehow all the biggest crooks decided that the U.S. government was their best place to find employment. So people are getting very heated about this issue, ones that are staying up to date on it.
At least someone found employment in this climate. So
Oh, yeah.
that's congratulations, crooks.
Is it about adjusting the law, though, at this
Clearly,
point?
I mean, the legislation is outdated. It's like, like you said, they went back as far as they could. I'm sure there's a law somewhere that says, I have the right to copy your papyrus. And someone's going to use that to say that I can make, illegal copies of your Justin Bieber album. Like, there's always a way to misread archaic laws. This one needs to be updated.
What is it going to take for that update to happen? More activism? I mean, more people going out there, besides obviously companies like Google and Twitter have come together.
I think it takes a senator's email needing to get exposed. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
It takes someone. It takes someone who's in charge of laws having what is being done to American citizens done to their email account, done to their Facebook profile.
They're going to pay attention to it.
Unfortunately.
Well, we know there are groups like the Electronic Frontier Foundation that are working together to support privacy laws for people.
Right, but then there's also, doing this for good. You look at access to terrorist websites and access to terrorist emails.
That's the other argument, yes.
If that stops some sort of a threat, from actually becoming a reality, I'm all for it. I want to be protected. I'll stand at the airport. They can cavity search me all day long. Number one, it's fun. Number two, but you know what I mean? If it's going to make a safe flight, I'm all for that kind of thing.
But then you got to be, because that to me is a slippery slope argument.
It is.
Because
There's
like the TSA, in my opinion, and I think it's been pretty well documented, it's kind of security theater.
To a certain extent.
Security theater.
I don't know.
Oh, it's security theater. I mean, look, you won't trust me with 3 ounces of hair gel in the same bottle, but I could have 2 bottles right next to each other that have 2.9 ounces of gel.
I mean, that brings up a whole other discussion.
Yeah,
anyway, but that's what we all think. But we want to know what you think, so head over to our Facebook page.
You use a lot of gel, though.
Right
I
now.
do. Look, I require a lot of product.
I know.
You can talk about gel, or you can talk about bigger issues like privacy online. Okay,
How dare you?
Go to facebook.com/whatstrending. Do it. And now it's time for Like or Dislike, where we go thumbs up or thumbs down on the internet fun we've all been sharing. Make sure we know what you like or dislike by casting your vote on our Facebook page now. Some say the 3D bubble has burst again, with major studios putting less stock in the technology, but apparently no one told Disney. They're betting big on the third dimension and winning after taking the top spot at the box office 2 weeks in a row with their Lion King 3D re-release. They've made plans to re-release 4 more films in 3D, including Finding Nemo, The Little Mermaid, my favorite, and Beauty and the Beast. Kevin, 3D Disney.
Oh,
like
3D. I get it. I see what you did. I hate for that to be on the ad campaign.
Like or dislike?
Love. Is there a love option? Greg and I have already pre-ordered tickets.
We've never had a guest say love.
Oh, you're going back on me now? We said we were going to Mermaid, Pantages. It was going to be amazing.
No, I'm driving you there.
No, look, I'm excited to be able to take my niece to see these movies.
Yeah.
I'm concerned to scramble her brain with 3D. It's
not on
safe
a date?
for kids under the age of 6.
3D date?
3D date.
No.
I want a 4D.
That's creative.
I'm going to go with no.
Or G4 date.
Greg, you have kids. What, do they like this?
Here's the thing. I think these are incredible stories. Last time I was here, we had a 3D discussion, if you remember.
Oh my God, this is weird.
Do you remember that? And we talked
do.
all about character and story and making a great movie. These are already great movies. This is a way to just make more money. It's not going to be spectacular. You're not going to. Nemo is not going to swim up to you and give you a kiss.
But what if he does?
Yeah.
What if it feels like he does?
You're going to ruin it for your kids.
Honestly, you want to get wet? Go see Group Sex, my movie. Don't go see Nemo.
You can't bring your kids to that, I don't think.
I just don't think it's enough. This is just rehashing a product that's already iconic, classic, and we don't need to redo them.
It soils the sanctity of the Disney vault.
Exactly.
Remember the Disney vault? These movies were supposed to be locked away and they would never be opened up
That's
again.
what I'm saying.
And now I feel like, oh, we have another dimension, or let's pop that vault
How did you feel about Star Wars being re-released?
Yeah,
yeah.
not a
I think
huge
he
Star
was
Wars
okay
guy.
with that.
Oh, I'm a huge Star Wars guy.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Star Wars guy.
I just think leave well enough alone. But again, it's business.
You need to bring it back for the new generations.
Yeah.
And update it. All right.
As long as Simba doesn't shoot first.
Well, speaking of going back in the archive, today marks the 3rd major musical release from William Shatner. Seeking Major Tom is his new space-themed album, and it will be another foray into the world of covers, providing his own docile takes on everything from Black Sabbath to the Police. And a video from the recording session of his Iron Man cover actually went viral last week on YouTube. Take a look.
I am Iron Man. Ha 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 ha. Can he walk at all? Or if he moves, will he fall? Can he walk at all? Or if he moves, will he fall? Nobody wants him. They just turn.
Now, I like him because he's a fellow Canadian. He does seem like he needs to go to the bathroom when he talks like this.
Yeah. I love William Shatner.
Like or dislike this album?
Love William Shatner. Major dislike with this.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
come
album
on.
art is amazing, though. I don't know if you've seen it.
Everything about it
it's
is
like
just-
my first Photoshop. There's lens flares everywhere. He's in a spacesuit. There's rockets
It's so
behind him.
kitschy. How could you not?
I'd
Hey,
buy
look, Hanukkah's coming. Christmas is coming. What a perfect time to put this out. I mean, look, he's going to make a fortune on this. This is a gimmick, and I just don't. I don't find it's like when you do it once and it's classic. Again, it's the 3D argument. It's like it's enough.
I feel bad because when he was on my show, I
Yeah.
asked him about this project, and I knew nothing about it at the time, but he lit up. There was life in his eyes, and he was like, we did some great work on it. We did, and then you hear the Iron Man
Greg, you
clip,
feel
and it's
bad
just
too.
like,
Are you going to go see him do it live?
no.
He's going to go on tour. Are you kidding
He's doing
me?
a tour in Canada. This
Yeah.
month.
Wow.
Our home country.
Wow.
And
Okay,
I'll-
I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're not
Well,
wrong.
no, I
You're-
think it's
you're
one of the
right
things,
to
like, he
dislike
keeps
it,
coming
and,
back.
but it's.
Now, I want him to join our band. I've got a band for charity.
Yeah.
Okay, William Shatner, if you're watching, which he probably is, you've got to join Band from TV. I mean, that would be classic to have William Shatner,
Just
you
for
know,
one
Hugh
song.
Laurie.
Should do
We've already
it.
got Hugh
Maybe one
Laurie.
song.
William Shatner and Hugh Laurie singing a little duet.
Doing some Priceline
That
lines.
would be a great.
Exactly.
Well, our audience mainly likes this.
Wow.
We had one comment from our Facebook. Stuart says that Shatner equals gold. And if you think that Shatner equals gold, you can go down to Amoeba Records in Hollywood. He's doing a signing.
Awesome.
He's doing a signing on Thursday. And for more information, go to amoeba.com.
Or just follow him online.
It's important to separate. There's two different things. It's okay to like William Shatner. It's
I
okay to love William Shatner.
love William
and
Shatner.
it's okay to not like something he does. That's okay as
Put
well.
something out like every day. He has something new. All right.
I don't know what that's like.
No.
I've got a million things too. So it's kind of,
Oh,
the
yeah,
kettle
you
black.
connect.
Yeah, but I just, anyway.
Moving on. Quickster. So quick we barely knew you. Only a few weeks after hastily announcing a new DVD-only service, Netflix responded to the customer backlash and 60% drop in stock by canceling the service altogether. They're back to the good old-fashioned way of doing business with the all-in-one Netflix we all try to love. According to the email I got, CEO Reed Hastings explained, it is clear that for many of our members, 2 websites would make things just more difficult. Kevin, back to the regular Netflix.
Oh, hooray.
With
Barely
still
noticed
an
the
increase
change.
in the price. Like or
Reed
dislike.
Hastings is like just an ex-girlfriend that doesn't get the hint.
Aw.
And just I wake up, did Reed email me this morning? I'm so sorry. It's like 3 a.m. What is this guy doing? He's the CEO of a company.
I know, he's the CEO of a huge company, and the announcement that he put out was recorded in by the pool in an apartment building. Did you see that?
I know.
was like, what is this?
It's a bit awkward.
That was really weird. Just 2 dudes sitting there going, what do you want to do? Let's split this up. I mean, it was very strange. However, this goes to social media. They immediately saw a reaction, an immediate drop. They can, 60% is huge, especially with a big company like that. But look, I have a movie, Group Sex, another plug, on Netflix.
Yes.
And there should be one place. This is very confusing.
It's too much. Well, I give them credit for doing something like this, for not continuing it. Out of respect to the community, they listen to fans. They listen to people, which is a huge deal.
Yeah.
They also make decisions without asking people is the other thing that they do. Like if they would have asked
Maybe
their
they should
community
use a
in,
focus
I don't know,
group or
like a
something.
simple poll, maybe people would have said,
Right.
don't separate
Don't do
these
this.
companies, I will leave you and burn your house to the
It's a
ground.
great way to make money on Netflix stock, though. You
Yeah.
buy it now,
Yeah, now's
it's
the
going to
time
go
to
back
get
up.
Do you think it's going to go back up?
Oh, without question.
With hits like Group Sex on there, yowza, we got it made.
All because of Greg Grunberg. No,
Kids,
stock is
don't
gonna go
Google
up.
Group Sex. Whole other world.
No, image search it.
So,
Shut off the filters.
our online community mainly likes Quickster going away. No surprises there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell you guys about a parody account that started recently called @NetflixGlobalPR. And they
Pretty
tweeted
awesome.
just recently, the genius of all this Quickster business is that hardly anyone is talking about the silly price increases anymore. Mission accomplished.
Oh, PR.
Yeah.
I love PR. I love fake satire PR.
For me, it was a price decrease because all I do is stream it. So I didn't want these flying saucers coming to my house.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, so it was cheaper for me. So I love that. But yeah, the Quickster getting, you take all this time to build up this great brand, why split it? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I hope
Unless
the
people
CEO of
watch
Quickster,
Group
though, had a
Sex.
nice golden parachute set aside for him. Like, he's like, I'm CEO. If anything happens to this company, I get $3 million or whatever.
He's
Because
like,
2 weeks later, he's like,
"Let's
all
just get
right. I see Reed typing at 3 a.m. and crying. Chances are I'm getting my
He's down by
bonus."
the pool again while his laundry's being done.
Well, you guys were so great together. I feel the love.
We are a buddy cop sitcom
You
waiting to
are.
happen.
I was feeling that.
G4, 4 Gs. Greg Grunberg. I mean, there's a reason why.
There's a
There's
connection.
a lot of
Inherent
love
synergy.
here.
So I want to give a special thanks to our awesome
Oh,
panel.
thank you.
Come on.
Thank the audience.
Yeah, our
Sexy
audience is amazing. It's a sexy audience. You guys are smart and sexy.
I got to say, I'm really excited for your guest. Rick Fox
Yes.
has an amazing web series that's on right now that you're going to talk
Oh,
about.
I was excited because
are.
I got to see me talk. I thought that's what you were going to say. I'm really excited for your guests. They got to witness us. No, that's cool.
Exactly.
It's
I
better
just
for
want
someone
I just
else.
want to shout out to Rick because
Thanks for that shout out. But
It's
a
really
shout out to you guys. Follow Greg through his website, greggrunberg.com, on Twitter @GregGrunberg.
thank you.
Yeah, Kevin is live on G4 every day at 7 p.m. You can find him on Twitter @Pereira. Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
And
you.
keep letting us know your thoughts and questions by tweeting us at what's trending using #WTLive. Our Innovator series is all about the people using emerging technology to change the way we see our world. A few weeks back, we had the man, the legend, Snoop Dogg in our studio to talk about how he has embraced social media and harnessed its power to promote his personal brand. And this week, we got a unique opportunity to go behind closed doors to sit down with Stampede Management and Cashmere Agency, the men behind the dog, to find out what it means to be an artist in the digital age. Take a look.
One of the #1 things that we focus on is content, and putting out good content that our fans love. I think one motto that I really live by around here is engage and entertain. Our roster of artists includes Snoop Dogg, the Far East Movement, DJ Quick, and a crew of developing artists. And the things that we can do now using social media, it's amazing. I mean, we get together, come up with ideas now, and we create our own content, and we create our own weekly series. So our goal is to just engage those fans and entertain them, and we do that now really through the videos we produce. We have a studio in the back that we just produce our own content. Like one of those pieces is the GGN, the Double G News, the Hood News. Features Snoop Dogg, Bishop Don Juan, and the infamous Andy Milonakis. And when we first put it online, it became a big success, you know, about 250,000 to 300,000 views immediately. So that inspired us to get in the studio and do it again. And this time we didn't have the brand money to do it, we did it on our own. And you know, now what we've learned from it is that we need to be consistent because people want it, they love it, and it's something that resonates with them.
I think that is the core of social media, is understanding that it's a two-way street, it's a conversation that's happening. And it's not just something that as an artist or a brand you can sit back and shove your product or shove your new album down the throats of everybody. And the thing is to understand who the core audience is first, because when you're online, there's always the potential you want to talk to millions and millions of people at the same time. But you have to understand that there's a very core group of fans and followers out there who then help preach the gospel, you know, around the water cooler, the virtual water cooler, if you will. So I think it's very important that these brands understand that just because, you know, for 50 years you were able to, you know, hide behind your logo, now it's time to jump out in front of that and really put a persona on what your company is.
Welcome to Influencer, our series of conversations with the world's thought leaders, the people creating the trends that we are all talking about. You probably know him for his time spent on the basketball court leading the Los Angeles Lakers to 3 championships, but now Rick Fox is taking his talents online, launching an original web series on YouTube called Hysteria. And now he's joining us live. Rick! Thanks so much for being here.
So, Doc.
On the social media therapy couch.
Thanks, Cheryl, but I need to know this lockout thing with the NBA. Tell me this is not going to go on much longer.
Oh, well, I think you need to tell me a bit more about that later in the show. Well, should we get right into that question?
Yeah, sure. Because I know it's on some people's minds.
I know, that was a big deal last night. We were also surprised when we heard the news. 2 weeks. The season is off, it's still in lockout time. You know, what was your reaction?
Well, I personally saw it coming in the sense that I've gone through it.
Yeah.
Back in 1999, we were locked out for about 3 months, I think it was. We started the season in January. Later on in the season, played about 50 games. So we still got some basketball in. I think they're a lot further apart than I think the fans hoped they were.
Yeah.
And so that's why you see the first 2 weeks of the season canceled.
What are the players going through right now?
Well, they're probably conscious right now for the first time they're going to be losing some money.
Yeah.
Some people a lot of money. Some guys, you know, they make 10, 12, 15 million dollars a year, and so per game, that's, you know, that can be anywhere from $300,000 to $400,000. So they're probably, I wouldn't say pinching pennies, but they're being more conscious about how they're spending their time and their money.
Do you text your friends? You're like, dude, it's going to be okay? Do you text or send messages to anyone?
I do. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried that they can keep that resolve going for a full, you know, year, which they may need to get the deal they want. That's unfortunate for basketball. It's unfortunate for fans because no one wants to see this go on any longer than it has.
Yeah, and we actually had a Facebook question from Mark D. Stein who asked, what did Rick do during the lockout at the end of the 90s to stay optimistic during labor negotiations? I'd imagine a lot of players are on the edge at the moment with the possibility of a canceled season.
I was a player rep,
yeah.
So I was a part of the negotiations. So I was in New York most of the time, and it was actually at that point that I met my wife back then, now ex-wife. But if it wasn't for that time, I wouldn't have got to know her. So I spent most of that time in New York trying to work out the deal, and unfortunately, we as a group caved in later on and got a worse deal than we had gotten if we'd have just signed the deal at the beginning.
Wow. Well, let's move on to what's going on in your life now.
Yeah.
Enough about the past.
It's what's trending.
It's what's trending, Rick.
Group sex is trending, right?
Yeah, that's going to continue along the whole show. It seems to be the inside joke. Well, you're getting into the YouTube game. You have a new web series, Hysteria. Let's talk about that. How did you get started with that? Why did you decide to take on, web TV and YouTube?
Well, it started as I've transitioned out of basketball. I've spent about 17 years now in front of the camera. Started back in '94, so I got the experience of being on set as an actor, talking to crew members, talking to directors, writers, and all the gamut. But never had the courage to get behind the camera and actually create and tell stories that I wanted to tell. About 3 years ago, I thought, you know what, it's about that time. I have enough support around me. I have some ideas I want to try and explore production-wise. And so I did that. I made what I would call my film school experience. I made my first movie, supported by a great cast and crew. And this is the result of it. I learned through that experience that distribution is a difficult task. And so instead of giving my movie away, I held on to it for a couple years and then made it into a web series, re-edited it. I have 26 episodes, decided that with the web and social media, it puts the power into the filmmakers' hands, greater power than they may have had in the last 5-6 years, and self-distribute it. And so being that it's October and it's Halloween, I have 26 episodes, one a day, leading up to Halloween, where I can celebrate this filmmaking experience with fans, and I hope they come along and enjoy it.
That's pretty exciting. So this happened you've been working on this project for the past 4 years.
Yeah. Well, it was shot about 1.5 years, 4 years ago, and for the last 3 years, looking for distribution and refusing to, like you say, just give it away. As a first-time filmmaker, if you're not making films on a consistent basis, the buyers tend to know that, so they can lowball you and they try to get a steal. And I decided to hold on to it. I didn't need the quick sale, and I could be patient. And I decided to find ways to distribute it on my own, but at the same time, make it educational for those that also want to do that, also want to make films.
And you're doing that by also having video blogs.
Right. Yeah. Now that's the one thing that's been most difficult. Talking.
Oh, really?
For me, just getting comfortable sharing the intimate side of that journey, because it wasn't an easy journey. It was one that had pitfalls that I'm going to share. Getting just comfortable opening up about that, because I'm not only speaking for myself, I'm speaking for the work of a ton of other cast and crew members that we're proud of. We're proud of it, and so I want to be conscious that I represent that respectfully.
And so it's obviously a horror web series. What is it about? Give people a little inside look.
Well, one of the things I read and studied and talked to many filmmakers about over the last 10 years leading up to making this choice was, as a first-time filmmaker, you want to find a single location. Horror is the one genre that seems to translate internationally, so it gives you a shot to actually make your money back if you can get it sold. And so I basically, in retirement, took the house that I was about to sell, found a story that took 6 people and locked them in a house and have terror ensue. It was a high school 10-year reunion where people come back and things go awry. And so this was Hysteria.
Now, you're becoming a familiar face in the web TV world. We met at South by Southwest. Now you're developing a lot of projects online. Let's talk about what the future holds for you online.
Well, I'm as excited. I mean, my daughter has recently inspired me to start my own channel. She has one. She's a 12-year-old filmmaker. So I'm impressed by the fact that she edits, directs, casts her friends, and actually reenacts music videos, movies. She did
YouTube
Alice in Wonder.
culture.
It's the YouTube culture, exactly. When talking to my son and my daughters, it's where they watch their content. And knowing that, I say, well, why not continue to strive to have a voice, create content, tell stories, which I've been doing, and build it in a fashion that you turn around and someday, like Ed Burns, who sells his movies through his online presence, and other individuals that create content, you can have a channel at the end of the day yourself. And so this is where I've jumped off. I still act on television, I still make movies, but this is my baby. This is my joy and passion. It's where I've placed my energy, and it's where I'm going to explore my voice and pull others that believe that this is a wave that people are going to watch content in the future.
What are we going to discover about Rick Fox on this channel and through your video blogs and Twitter and everything?
Oh, that he doesn't play basketball anymore.
Yeah.
that's the one thing.
You and Liza don't play basketball?
not unfortunately, not competitively.
You don't teach her any moves?
We go every once in a while and we shoot around, but filmmaking has been my second career now. So you'll find that I have a production company. You'll find that I make content. I sell television and movies. I also create web series. Which
You're Canadian.
I'm Canadian, which a lot of people know. So I'm hoping to head up to Canada in the near future and make content through Canadian funds as a Canadian producer, and then bring them back here through the world. And so that's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn that I'm a filmmaker full time. Wow,
that's a big transition. And now you are also big on Twitter. You've gone big. You and Eliza, both of you.
Yeah, I'm losing that battle. Maybe you can help me with this. I mean, she has like 1 million followers, and I'm a competitive guy. So in a relationship, I have no relationship power. There's no equality in the household right now, and that's a problem, I think. So I need the guys out there that want to see a guy like me raise the equality level in the household.
Yeah, we need to start a What's Trending competition. Get Eliza here, get you here, and battle it out on What's Trending.
I got 113,000 followers.
Did she start before you? Did she
teach you? No, I introduced her to it.
Oh, really?
So this is, she obviously was smart to stay with it. She called up, I think it was Kevin Smith, within the first weekend. We were at the upfronts in New York in May, and I said, hey, babe, you got to check out this Twitter. This was 2009, and I was late at that point. Yeah. But, hey, you got to check this out. And she went on. I was like, I got to go do this interview for the game. I'll be right back, okay? By the time I came back to the hotel room 3 hours later, she'd called Kevin James, and she had 17,000 followers, because he obviously blasted her to his million followers. I said, I had like 700 at the time. I was like, what happened? Like, what just happened? And so ever since then, I've been playing catch up. And,
friendly competition.
Yeah, friendly competition. But I hope to eventually start to at least creep closer so that I won't have to wash the dishes every night.
And we also talked about this, being in a relationship in this web, digitally connected world, and what that's like for you too.
Yeah, well, it's why I'm behind. Because I can tell you a quick story. I was about a month into Twitter, and I was leading the charge before I introduced Eliza, and I told my friends that I was going to Africa. And I was going with Eliza and her mom on a socioeconomic tour with some students, and I said, hey guys, help me make a list of things that I should take. And so, people started, take malaria pills. Okay, I retweeted, take malaria pills. So, okay, I said, take some, photos, take some extra socks, take some condoms. It's like, take condoms, check. Take more condoms. Okay, take more condoms, check. And so, take a lot more condoms. Okay, take a lot more condoms, check. So she was following me, and she just got, this was like 3 months into our relationship. So she was like, what are you doing? What if my mom is reading this? I thought,
what about everyone else reading it?
Oh no. And so I had to learn a little bit about that margin of how much you put out there in your relationship versus how much you keep to yourself. So that kind of put me on froze. I'm going to lose this girl I'm really into over Twitter, and I don't know if it's worth it.
Oh, well, speaking of Twitter, you can follow Rick Fox at Rick A. Fox online.
And the A is for my middle name.
Yeah, that's interesting. You couldn't get the Rick Fox?
Yeah, no, I couldn't. So I had to put the A in there.
And thank you for your insights. I look forward to seeing what else you do in the web world. And thanks for those relationship tips.
Yeah, that's, trust me. Don't retweet the condom thing.
Don't retweet that. And check out Hysteria, youtube.com/RickFoxTV. Thank you, man. It was fun. Yeah. Now, the entire What's Trending team are definitely Apple addicts and have been moved and influenced hugely by Steve Jobs over the years. The overwhelming global response to his passing inspired us to ask, how did Steve Jobs change your life? Here are some of the video responses we got on VU.com.
I definitely think Steve Jobs has left a huge legacy behind for so many people, and he deserves to be remembered for the person who changed so many lives.
I will remember him every time I look at an Apple product, probably.
I'll remember every day as I use my MacBook Pro as my favorite laptop computer. I'll remember every time I use my iPhone.
Probably just by remembering all the awesome stuff they gave us, like iPods and Macs and all that good stuff.
I mean, I own a lot of his products. He is one of the greatest minds of our time, and his name will certainly go down in history.
He did do a lot for the business world and capitalism in general. So, yeah, in essence, he was a good representation of American capitalism in general.
A lot of people judge people by, this big global enterprise of money making and, expensive products, but really, Steve Jobs beyond Apple was a really amazing person.
I wasn't an Apple guy. All I bought was an iPod. So thanks. I'm smiling, but you can't see that.
Thank you, Steve Jobs.
Here are the top 5 videos that everyone's been sharing. The internet has gone kid crazy this week as we start off with this cute cover of Metallica's Enter Sandman. A surprise trip to Disneyland left this birthday girl in tears of happiness.
Yes, we're going.
Are you excited? This video proved that little brothers really are the best backup dancers. Remember when you found out that Darth was Luke's father? Well, nobody told this kid.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
And finally, 5-year-old Sophia Grace Brownlee's badass Nicki Minaj cover showed us that a girl in a pink dress is not to be messed with.
Somebody please tell me who the F is. I am Minaj, you got the cooler, cat cooler. But you got my heartbeat running away.
For more of what we're watching now, head over to our blog on whatstrending.com.
Running through the forest hand in hand, jumping over streams, talking about our dreams. We laugh, we smile, we dance. Would you give it one more chance? Please don't let me leave this place. I really, really don't want.
What a lovely song. That was the Camel Song by Clara C. After only 2 years on YouTube, she has already achieved more than 10 million views on her channel. A blending of both original songs and covers have allowed her to make her musical mark. But she's not only online, she's currently in the middle of an international tour, and she's stopping by to join us today. Clara, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So your website says that you're a closet musician. When did you come out?
I came out 2 years ago. It's only been 2 years.
That you've been playing?
That I've been playing, writing. Well, not playing, writing.
Really?
Yeah.
So what inspired you to finally go there?
Ooh, I got rid of my bad friends. I think you are who you surround yourself with, and they told me not to do music, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, so I was like, F you guys, I'm just gonna go and do me.
And then did it really start on YouTube? How has that allowed you to evolve as a musician?
Yeah, so I guess my experience is a little different in that I entered competition. My friends entered me into competitions, I should say. The good batch of friends who encouraged music. And it coupled with the YouTube thing, because I'd win these competitions and people would go home and be like, who's this girl? And so it kind of served as that kind of a launch pad.
That's amazing. So what has that been like for you? I mean, it's a modern way of doing things now. It's the new way.
Yeah, it is. And we're completely indie. It's it's just me and my manager. So it's amazing. And we just hit the ground running.
Are there any tips in terms of a musician of how you've grown your audience on YouTube?
Just be myself and make sure that your art is the best it can be. I give it everything, and I'm a perfectionist. I won't release it unless I'm happy with it, etc.
Yeah, I mean, you're also on tour right now, so thank you for stopping by.
Voice is kind of gone.
You've been performing a lot. Where are you headed?
So we just wrapped the entire West Coast yesterday. I flew in yesterday night, and now I'm here bright and early.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And now we're going to the East Coast, and then Southeast Asia, and then Australia.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what's it like meeting those subscribers and followers offline?
It's great. They're so sweet. I've never received so much chocolate in my life.
Chocolate?
Yeah, people just give me mountains of chocolate after the show. And they like yesterday in, where was that, San Francisco?
Yeah.
There was a batch of people who made t-shirts, like art for every song, and then on the back of it they had sheet music for a song of mine. They were like, can you identify what song it was? And it's just crazy.
Very creative.
They're so sweet. They're just as creative as me. I don't know what I'm doing on stage when they're not.
Now, you're also working on a second album in the midst of all this. So tell us about that. How do you do both at the same time?
It's hard.
Yeah.
I read, Rolling Stone and interviews and stuff like that, and people are just like, yeah, we made this sophomore album while we were on tour, and I'm like, what? I'm I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you do that, but we are. I guess you just got to do
get
what you got to do.
inspired.
You do. You do. You meet so many people. You meet hundreds of faces a day, and you're just, things are hitting you in a new way every day. So there's lots of inspiration.
Well, you're here to debut a new song.
Yeah.
So that's exciting for us. Tell us a bit about it.
This one's called Fish, and it's basically a love song. I wanted to write like the ultimate love song from my heart, like kind of like wedding status. This is a little different from. I have no gadgets today. Like usually I have like weird vocoders and percussion instruments and things like that, but it's just stripped down raw, like love song.
We love that here at What's Trending. So here to perform Fish for the first time ever on What's Trending, it's Clara C.
Yeah.
So this is it. My search is over. You filled a void I wasn't aware of. Every wrong door, and its wrong exit, I'll finally accept it, 'cause it led me to you. Heart's home is you. The fiction I've dreamt of is finally reality with you. And you make me so happy that I'm scared to move. Honey, I love So this is love. I must not have known it before when I said it. Must have been to rehearse on some other loser. Let's get married tomorrow, 'cause I can't stop trembling. I've done enough waiting. Wanna be there with you. My heart's home is you. The fiction I've dreamt of is finally reality with you. And you make me so happy that I'm scared to move. Honey, I love you. Honey, I love you. Honey, I love you. Honey, I love you.
Woo! That was beautiful. Thank you so much. How awesome are you? You can stay up to date with Clara at Clara C Music and see if she'll be stopping by your city soon at claracmusic.com. I'd also like to thank Rick Fox, Greg Grunberg, Kevin Pereira, and of course you. Yes, you guys are all there for stopping by today. For more on these stories, along with interactive updates on breaking topics, behind-the-scenes photos, or to comment on what you've seen on the show, be sure to check out our Facebook page. And remember, we are online all the time at whatstrending.com and on Twitter at whatstrending. See you soon. It was beautiful. That was so nice. We're all like watching. Like that.